talking about Cancer and its mythology. Cancer is generally known as an emotional, sensitive, highly empathetic sign, and it is actually one of the most sensitive signs of the zodiac. But sometimes we see some Cancer that have closed their doors to the outside. They are more cold, more dull. They don't reveal these sensitivities too much. Because when you think about the crab animal, you will find the answer to this. The crab is an animal with shells. It acts in a cowardly manner. It is frightened and does not reveal its soft heart, its soft vitality to the outside, because their fears and anxieties are very high. Of course, this has many psychological repercussions, but before we evaluate them too much, if we examine the mythos of the Cancer, it will give us more information about it. Now, the mythology we use the most in mythology is Greek mythology, which is most popular mythologies when we talk about the zodiac signs and the mythos of the planets. Again, in the myth about the Cancer, Zeus, the god of the gods, Zeus, the god of the gods who lives on Mount Olympus, who is really angry but also at the peak of power, has a marriage with his wife and actually his sister, Hera. But Zeus is a womanizing god. So he wants to be with many mortal and immortal women. Hera is also a goddess who never leaves her husband, and she tries to somehow prevent and control these escapades of Zeus. Here is the Cancer myth about Heracles from one of these flings. Heracles is known as Hercules in Roman mythology, and somehow Hera gives him 12 difficult tasks. The second of these 12 challenges is to kill the Hydra, a monster with 9 heads and 9 snakes. But Heracles' job is difficult, because when he shoots one of them, 2 snakes emerge from there. And again the great goddess Hera sends a crab from above and wants to distract Heracles. The crab starts gnawing little by little on Heracles' foot. And of course, because it is a tiny crab, Heracles looks at one foot, and when he sees it, he crushes it with the back of his foot. And of course the crab dies. Hera rewards the crab for its courage. Hera elevates it to the heavens crab, and this is how the Cancer constellation takes its place in the heavens. When we examine mythology, there are some facts that we come across. 1. Hera sending the crab. Hera is the great mother. She is the goddess of the highest quality of women, a goddess who expresses femininity, and the crab is sent by a woman, by a mother. The connection between Cancer and mother or family is repeated again. But this does not mean that every Cancer is domestic. If the Cancer wants to get away from home as soon as possible, if the Cancer does not feel comfortable at home, if the Cancer has problems with the mother, the Cancer should think about the themes of trust and insecurity, because the concept we call secure attachment in Cancer does not express itself very easily. Because the problems they're experienced in their past life, experience with their family, or with sense of belonging with their roots, may cause problems in future life. Cancer is domestic. Cancer loves its home very much, or does not like home at all. Cancer is either very attached to their mother or not fond of her. The opposite of something is always itself. So these two reactions we give actually express a unity based on the principle of duality. At this point, when you see a Cancer like this, you should know that it means some problems that are still unresolved with the family. Apart from this, another element of attention is that the crab is constantly trying to show a presence to the great Hera by serving there, even though it knows that it is tiny, even knowing that it will die. Some of the Cancer's behaviors can be forced, let's not say very obsessive, but sometimes we can see very successful Cancer women in the business world. Why does this happen? Because they are compulsive with something over and over again. There's an instinctive nature about realizing it. So Cancer doesn't leave there. Imagine an entity that you are aiming for, and you are constantly revolving around that entity. As you constantly revolve around that entity, you get to know it much better. You develop tactics against it, you know it better, and the better you know it, the closer you get to achieving it. But one problem is that if that being not suitable with your essence and you are still running around it, then it is not success. Sometimes sadness, unhappiness comes with it. And Cancer needs to analyze this situation very well, because by exaggerating the problems of addiction and attachment, they may also face the problem of not progressing too much in their own personal journey by not leaving where they are. As I said, addiction, stickiness is one of the most shadowy aspects of Cancer. What they should is to grow up completely. Do you know about hermit crabs? Hermit crabs, unlike other crabs, don't have a hard shell. When they get big enough, they have to leave the container that encloses it. And at that point, they get scared. They have to move to another sheltered area. It's getting bigger, it can't fit in the shell, and it has to leave. That's one of the Cancer's most challenging tasks, to leave that shell and find another sheltered area. Because it has grown up and now it has to leave. Cancer that remain attached to their home, that never give up their comfort zone even though they grow up, are also faced with the problem of not growing up. Growing up means individualization. It means being self-sufficient. It means being independent. It means to be free. Dependency is the Cancer's biggest problem in this sense. Of course, while saying this, I suddenly remembered a quote by Jung in my book on mythology, astrology, and psychology. That quote comes to my mind and I would like to share it with you. We experience the helpful forces of our nature only in a state of absolute abandonment and loneliness. Being a child means evolving towards independence. This requires moving away from our roots. Abandonment is therefore a necessary condition. Yes, this quote of Jung's points to a somewhat problematic fate of the Cancer. The more it clings, the more it has to move away from that thing. Therefore, my advice to Cancer is that it is very important for them to develop a conscious effort to know how to leave, to be able to move freely without getting stuck in the spiral of addiction. This is our mythos about the Cancer for today.